The Transmigration of Life. Siafeng. August 16, 2005. Translated by Transmigration. Essentially, nothing in the universe exists except for energy and life. When energy is absorbed into non-material structures with spirituality, lives manifest themselves. When lives possess consciousnesses, thousands of manifestations of substances will come about. All matter originates from energy and returns to energy in the end. All lives originate from structures and return to structures in the end. Where there is energy, there is life. The total amount of energy in the universe is constant and unchanging. The total number of lives in the universe never increases or decreases. The total amount of energy and the number of lives are proportional, the ratio between them is constant. Although new life can be created, it has a saturation point. After reaching this point, no new life can be created. Once it is created, life cannot be extinguished because its nature is a non-material structure with spirituality, and this non-material structure does not die. It can only transform from one form to another and from one space to another. As the number of people on Earth increases, the number of animals and plants decreases accordingly, and were the number of human celestial beings in the 1,000-year world to increase, then the number of people in the mortal world would decrease accordingly. This is the way it goes. The Transmigration of Life runs in these 10 spaces. 1. The Elysium world. 2. The 10,000-year world. 3. The 1,000-year world. 4. The mortal world. 5. The livestock world. 6. The animal world. 7. The plant world. 8. The nether world. 9. The frozen layer. 10. The inflamed layer. The holographic order world refers only to the spaces of energy aggregation. 1. The zero world is a special, unique place for the greatest creator. 2. The heaven world is the place for gods. 3. The cathode black hole body is the prison for senior life devils. 4. The anode black hole body is only a place for temporary transformation of life, reincarnation. 5. The dream world is a place for demonstrations of past and future of lives from all spaces. 6. The bacteria and insect worlds, including the herbs of the plant world, are transmigration and transformation places for another nature of life. Is life really immortal? Is it really all transmigration and transformation? Yes, life is really immortal, but what is mortal are just its manifestations. When we see that someone is dead, it does not mean that their life is dead, but only that their carrier is dead. It is as if we moved out of an old house and into a new one. The previous house became useless or it was being called dead. We cannot say that we have died just because we moved out when our previous house became empty. What would we do if we wanted to cross a river and travel to the other side? We would build or rent a boat, but once the boat pulls onto the opposite shore, we would abandon it because the boat would have accomplished its mission, and we would then go ashore and continue along our way. We are life, the boat is flesh, the river is life. We enter into this river by means of our bodies and then paddle toward the other side. As soon as we land ashore, we would abandon our boat or body and continue on with our journey. Should we describe candles that have burnt down to their ends as being dead? Their external forms are indeed dead and no longer exist, but their nature, their energy, has been converted and has floated up into the air or onto the bodies of other objects and lives on. When we eat apples, we chew and swallow them into our stomachs until at last, only their seeds remain. Where have the apples gone? Have they died? Yes, their external forms no longer exist, they are as dead as they can be, but their nature, their energy, will have been converted and transformed into nutrition for our bodies. If we expose a cup of water to sunshine, it will evaporate after several hours, but where will it go? Will it be dead? No, surely water does not die. What will die is just the water's form, but its nature will turn into vapor and rise up to the sky. When it meets cold air, it will drop down to the earth in the form of rain or snow. Therefore, water is constantly cycling, transmigrating. If water were to die, its volume would have long since depleted. In the second section of Unconventional Thinking, in my article entitled Life and Death Are Only Images, Life Has Neither Life Nor Death, I demonstrated the philosophic principle that life has neither life nor death and listed some examples such as the regeneration of a girl, the witness of the reincarnation of the living Buddha of Tibet, and the results of research at the International Near-Death Research Institute. You may wish to reread this part once again. It might occur to you suddenly that someplace or something seems so familiar that you feel like you have been there before or touched it before, but this only happens when your mind is in a peaceful, resting state, and that feeling disappears quickly. Why does this feeling arise? It is because this phenomenon is a reflection of your instant memory from past environments in your previous lives which are buried into your subconscious thoughts. When people come to places where they have never been before, they may get sudden feelings that seem very familiar, and those feelings are proof that they used to live or work there in a previous life. Generally speaking, everyone gets these feelings if they were human in their previous lives and if they remained human after transmigrating. If they were not human in their previous lives but were transmigrated from other forms of life, then they would usually not have these kinds of feelings because animals sense things differently. With the rapid developments of human societies and the great environmental changes in the modern era, it is relatively difficult for people to relive these past memories. Some people have mirages in their consciousnesses very often and are extremely sensitive to illusory space, which could indicate that their previous life environments were not in the mortal human world, but rather in the 1,000-year world, the 10,000-year world, or even the Elysium world. The higher one's spirituality is, the stronger their feelings for the nature of life will be, but the duller their spirituality is, the weaker those feelings will be. Death is just a phenomenon of life, but eternity is the essence of life. Actually, there is no birth or death in any sense for the essence of life, but only matters of transformations through transmigrations. This is an indisputable fact.